Well, they say the truth always comes out. At times, a person's body language or the way they speak can give us some clues, revealing more than they meant to, especially when they're trying to cover something up.
But sometimes it's not so easy to catch on, at least not right away. So how can you spot a liar? Dissecting it all is body language and communications expert Louise Mahler. Welcome back.
Thank you, Kylie.
The Netflix series Apple Cider Vinegar. It's going great guns. It's the Belle Gibson story highlighting the fraud from all those years ago. What are the key red flags to watch out for when trying to spot a lie?
You know what? It's not for the uninitiated. In retrospect, we can all see what's happening, but when you're doing it in the moment, there are a couple of tricks. So what happens? You should look at what is the baseline for somebody. What do they normally do? Where do they normally look? What are their gestures normally? What's their voice? Then what you do is you watch out for differences or something odd. So, for instance, with the eyes, what are the eyes doing? Now, in Belle's case, in the interview, her eyes were flashing madly. The next thing is you watch for the face. And what about the head movement when you say, yes, I'm absolutely ready to tell the truth, and the head actually goes the opposite direction? And what about the gestures? Are they covering something up, covering your mouth, around your neck for anxiety? Is the breath going high, or is the voice going high all of a sudden? You know, they're giveaways.
We all know good liars, and sometimes they actually believe their own lies, right? So it's hard for us to pick sometimes. Is it possible to believe your own lies to such a depth that you can beat one of those lie detector tests?
Larry, isn't it fascinating? I've always thought that psychopaths could beat the lie detector, but recent research shows that actually anyone can, and you just have to have the right skill. On the other hand, if you're telling the truth, you can still fail the lie detector test because you're too nervous, because you're taking medication, because of your health. So if you are able to beat it and you believe your lies, absolutely, you can beat the lie detector.
I think it's true we're wired to trust people based on their appearance and their charm.
Carl, it's so unfair. It is so unfair. Did you know that beautiful people are paid 17% more than people who aren't so beautiful? And not only do we give them more capability, but we think they're more honest, we trust them more, and also we think they're kinder. It's really unfair. It's a massive bias.
In other huge body language news, yes, that's a thing, body language news. It's breaking body language news. Donald Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron have engaged in like this lengthy tug-of-war at the White House overnight, locking hands for 14.37 seconds. What do you make of this interaction? Is this a classic power play, or are they just having fun? What are they doing?
This is classic Trump. So Trump does something different every time, but his move that we love to see is when he pulls people in. And this is a power trip, definitely pulling people in. Macron's up to it. So Macron comes up to him, goes really close into him so that he can't pull. Thinks, right, I've got away with that. But Trump keeps holding his hand. Macron moves away. Vroom, he's pulled in. And Macron's going, I don't believe it. So he starts doing something else with his other hand. And then eventually Trump lets him go and he puts his arm around, Macron puts his arm around Trump's back. I mean, it is, for someone as experienced as Macron, to be pulled in by Trump, honest to goodness, it's fascinating, fabulous.
It's one-upmanship, isn't it? Billie Eilish, the singer, also showed she's human after a mishap on stage. This was in Brisbane at her concert. Let's take a look. So she forgot the words, and how do you think she handled it?
Oh, magnificent. There's a lesson in this for every one of us, because we're not just performing with a guitar in front of billions of people. We're performing with small groups in our work all the time. And it's the same principle. Get over it. We know that the research shows it takes 4 seconds to get over a mistake. So 4 seconds where we're beating ourselves up and then we start to negative spiral. And instead of that, you've got to go, throw it, move on. And that's what Billie Eilish did. She swore and then she laughed and then she moved on. And that's what we've all got to do, laugh.
Also helps when you've got 45,000 people who know the words. You know,
the song goes on,
it's
that's
like,
right.
I can just stop now, they'll sing the rest of it. Last week we saw Meghan Markle announce a business rebrand. It's been a big week. She had a couple of hurdles early. It didn't all go to plan. What do you make of her strategy and how her week has unfolded?
I think it's a mess, Larry. I think it's a total mess. I feel sorry. Where's Meghan in all of this? Find Meghan. So she's imitating people. So what happens is she's got a mood board, a vision board, whatever you want to call it, and she's got the husband, the children, the garden, the food on there. And she's also got a cryptic 33 embedded in that board. And people are saying this is imitating Taylor Swift, who had an embedded Easter egg. And the thing is, it's a message of linking the universal with the individual and the spiritual. And that's not an original idea. And now we've got her this week coming out in the sweatshirt that was exactly the same that Diana wore. And I've never seen that sweatshirt, let alone wear it. And she's wearing exactly the same one. I think Meghan's lost.
Okay, lots to... Yeah. Well, she's... You know what we do love? She's giving us lots of content to look at. So that's good. Let's take the positive away. Good on you, Meghan, for giving us so much content. Thank you, Louise. Always fascinating.